Well, hello there. Hey, this is Marvelous Mark here from the Off the Rope Show. And finally, for those of you that have asked, I'm doing my first TNA Impact Wrestling review. This is from March 22nd of 2012. The show leads off with a it was a recap of the Rude Sting match at Victory Road from last Sunday. And Dixie Carter goes to the ring and she talks about how Bobby Roode has disgraced and disrespected her TNA, herself, and Sting, which brings out the Stinger. And he says that he cannot be both GM and wrestler, so he's got to go away for a while. And you know what that means. That means maniacs. It means that Hulk Hogan's taking over, dude. And basically the crowd spoil it for Sting. That's kind of what he's doing. He's saying Hulk Hogan has changed and all this good stuff. So that's basically how this segment went. And then let's go to the next spot. Then next you had a random ass X Division Fatal 4-Way match between Anthony Nese and Kid Cash, who did not get an introduction. So what does that tell you about their match? About how their importance is to the X Division. Then it was also Zema Ion and the greatest man who ever lived, A-Double himself, Austin Aries. Well, this was a nice match, except for the fact that Bully Ray comes out in the middle and basically squashes pretty much the whole X Division by himself. But Bully Ray, why'd you have to kick the greatest man who ever lived? Why'd you have to kick him in the face for? But anyway, I guess that's part of what Bully Ray is. He just kind of goes and does what he wants. I mean, he is a great heel and all, but and remember, this is the same guy that caused riots along with Devon Dudley and ECW. If you haven't watched some of those classic promos, I mean, check them out on YouTube if you haven't seen them before. Like if you didn't see them in like the mid '90s or whatever, but. Oh man, oh baby, those are some classic ones, I tell you. But that is basically what that was all about. All right, then you had this Knockouts Tag Team title match between ODB and EY, Eric Young there's a Mexican America sighting, Rosita against Rosita and Sarita. Well, not much to say about this match really, but except for the fact that. Yes, EY and ODB are getting married on April 12th on Impact. So, and if you think of the TV wrestling weddings that have gone on in the past, it's going to go off without a hitch. Oh baby, something's going to happen here. You just don't know. It's kind of like a train wreck. You don't want to. You don't want to look, but you just can't turn away. It's that kind of a thing. But that's basically what this was all about. And then you had a recap of the Samoa Joe and Magnus versus Crimson and Matt Morgan match at Victory Road. And you see Crimson finally turning heel, which I am a big fan of because they had to do this sometime. I'm glad they did it with Crimson. Matt Morgan's been heel too. He's been heel enough times. It was time for Crimson to go heel, and he's still undefeated. They're still talking about his undefeated streak, like as a singles wrestler. I don't think it doesn't necessarily go to like tag teams and whatnot, but if you're gonna make somebody if you're gonna give somebody an undefeated streak, oh gosh. I know Schleg Daddy alluded to this in his review this week. Talk about it's like this is not Goldberg. I mean, it's not Tommaso Ciampa in ROH. It's not Goldberg back in 1997 through 98 in WCW. This is 2012. It's like oh my gosh, if you're not like what he said on a previous review, it's like. The thing that Bischoff did with Goldberg was genius because he put a number to it. I mean, it's like that you're gonna get your royalties from this, but it's like it doesn't matter if somebody's undefeated and and it's like they're not. Oh gosh, I don't I don't get what they're doing here, but I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to this match at Lockdown between Crimson and Matt Morgan. This should be a really good one. I would have to believe. Okay, then you have the 1 hour main event segment with when Cowboy James Storm coming to the ring. And he's talking about things that are wrong in the world, like football being only 18 weeks a year. Well, really it's 16, but who's really counting? It's football is too short of a season in my estimation. But that's just what I think. I think a lot of people would agree with that. And he talks about gas being $4 a gallon being wrong. I think everybody can relate to that. And then Rude doing what he did to Sting and Dixie Carter at Victory Road and to himself. It's just like things he's done wrong to him. It's like I like what they're doing with Storm's character. They're making him kind of the everyman babyface, kind of like the modern day American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, if you will. No, I'm not going to talk like him. But anyway, he calls Rude out, and then he gets his legal counsel, which is just another term for a lawyer. And who really likes a lawyer anyway? I mean, because all they are a bunch of shysters and a bunch of ambulance chasers anyway. And it kind of goes back to the old joke: what do you call 10,000 lawyers at the bottom of an ocean? A good start. And that's kind of what you have here. He comes out here, he comes to the ring and he reads a prepared statement about, oh, you can either take on Christopher Daniels or you can take on Kazarian tonight in the main event segment. Well, of course, Storm being the way he is, he'll take on both of them, and you can send a message back to Robert Roode in Canada, and he gives the lawyer the last call super kick. Oh, that sounds good. I like I said, I really like what they're doing with this character. So, next. And another thing, they had Kurt Angle and Garrett Bischoff had this 3-minute challenge match. And does Kurt Angle really need Gunner to help him out against Garrett fucking Bischoff? Oh my god. It's like, what? I mean, they got Gunner wrapped up in all this, and like, the only reason I would give a shit about Gunner is that the Nature Boy, woo, Ric Flair has been with him. But otherwise, I couldn't give 2 squirts of monkey piss about Gunner. But oh my god! And then Jeff Hardy had to come out there to chase them both off, and it's like, oh my god, you gotta be fucking kidding me! It's like, Garrett Bischoff is devoid of a lot of things. The only thing he's got going for him is that his daddy is Eric Bischoff. Oh, God almighty. Well, it's nice that TNA finally seen fit to put Mexican American back on television. And a tag team title match against the champions Samoa Joe and Magnus. Well, either Sarita or Rosita had to win the knockout tag team title, or Mexican America, Hernandez and Anarquia needed to win the tag team title so they could get their car out of getting towed by Josh Lewis of Repo Games. But that didn't happen. But it's like, I don't understand this random. I know it's a Spike show and they're trying to promote the show. They're trying to promote another show on the Spike network, but what was the point of all this? I don't understand it. I mean, yeah, it's great to see that Samoa Joe and Magnus are getting television time because they deserve it. But otherwise, this match didn't really do much for me. And then you had the handicap match between the Cowboy James Storm and Christopher Daniels and Kazarian. Well, there wasn't much really to this match, but it's just James Storm he nailed them both the last call super kick, and he beat them both by himself, which was more than what AJ Styles and Mr. Anderson did at Victory Road. They beat him as a tag team match, but James Storm did it all by himself. So what does that tell you? Then the last segment, Sting and Dixie Carter come back into the ring. The Stinger tells Dixie that he's a believer in Hulk Hogan, and it looks like Dixie Carter's starting to believe him. I can't speak for the rest of the Off the Rope show, but I believe in the Hulkster, baby. And finally Hogan comes to the ring, and the crowd's chanting Hogan, Hogan, Hogan. And then the show ends. Well, it's kind of like your classic soap opera cliffhanger. They're gonna leave you hanging until next week, baby. Well, my final thoughts on the show is that I really thought this was a boring show. The show really didn't do a lot for me, except for the fact that you got Hulk Hogan in the ending segment, baby. And I mean, yeah, the Sting and Dixie Carter thing, that was the first segment and the ending segment. But I tell you what, when you're an icon like the Stinger and you got the immortal Hulk Hogan, dude, it's you can kind of excuse it because it deserves a lot of your time. But then about Kurt Angle and Jeff Hardy, that why in the hell is this getting put on the back burner? Just to further along Garrett fucking Bischoff. God. Oh my God. Hoover vacuums don't suck as much as Garrett Bischoff does. Well, but anyway. Let me know what you thought down below of Impact this week. And if you haven't subscribed up above, please do so. This is Marvelous Mark signing off for my first Impact review. Goodbye for now.